A nation's strength ultimately consists in what it can do on its own and not in what it can borrow from others. That's a quote from Indira Gandhi, who was a political leader in India, and she is known as one of the strongest women in history. Um, she was born in 1917, November 19th of 1917. Before that, in the 1800s, the British ruled India, and they ruled India until about 1947. Um, so right in the middle of that was when Indira was born, and so in 1938 she joined the Indian National Congress Party, and then in 1942 she married her husband, Feroze Gandhi, and then about 5 years after that was the end of the British rule. So the year after the end of the British rule, Mahatma Gandhi, who had no relation to Indira, was assassinated. And in 1951 and 52, her father was elected as the first Prime Minister of India. In 1964, her father died, and 2 years after that, Indira became the Prime Minister of India. This was a big deal because traditionally in India, the men ranked above women, and they were the leaders. So having a woman as a strong, independent leader really changed a lot of views. It was also, while there was a lot of changes going on in the country, due to the fact that England was no longer ruling over India. So, in 1971, Indira signed a 20-year treaty of friendship with the Soviet Union. And then in 1974, India set off their first nuclear device underground. So those were some kind of defining moments of her terms. And then in 1975, she declared a state of emergency after she was found guilty of electoral malpractice. And then in 1977, she lost the general elections. So she was prime minister from 1966 to 1977, and then again in 1980 until 1984. So in 1980, she was reelected, returned to power as prime minister, and then at the end of that term, the Golden Temple was the Sikhs' holy shrine, so it was the most holy of their shrines, and the Indians stormed it to flush out the Sikh militants, who were pressing for self-rule. In that same year, shortly after the Golden Temple was stormed, Indira was assassinated by two of her bodyguards. They were Sikhs, and one shot her point blank, and the other continued to shoot her numerous times. She died on the way to the hospital. But during her life, she was known as a decisive and strong leader. Some people didn't like the decision she made, and she was often accused of trying to set up a dynasty in India because she ruled after her father and she wanted her son to rule after her. But she was definitely known to be decisive and strong. She was one of the first women to really make a difference in India. which definitely made her a big deal. And she was also one of the first leaders after India was their own country. So all of this kind of contributed to how how much influence she had. But she was also, her personality and her decisions made her a very strong leader. Thank you.